The chains of the past are heavy, especially when they aren't yours to bear. Yet, for Alina, they weren't just heavy, they were suffocating. She had never wronged anyone, never committed a crime, and never broken a single law. But none of that mattered, because the sins that stained her family's name had already sealed her fate. Whispers followed her wherever she went. Murmurs of betrayal, deceit, and disgrace clung to her like a second skin. The people in her village didn't see her, they saw the daughter of sinners. The weight of her parents' past crimes crushed every dream she dared to have. Doors slammed in her face. Opportunities slipped away. And when the time came for justice to be served, the world didn't care that she was innocent. She was sentenced. Not by a judge. Not by a courtroom. But by society itself. She thought she could outrun their judgment. She thought she could rewrite her story. But fate had other plans. Because when the past refuses to die, it haunts the future, and Alina was about to learn that the hardest way possible. Would she fight to break free, or would she become another victim of sins that weren't even hers? A young woman who has spent her entire life under the shadow of her parents' crimes. Background of her family's dark past. Her parents were once respected figures in the community but committed a crime that led to their downfall. This could be betrayal, theft, murder, or a political scandal. Alina's struggle for acceptance. She faces rejection from society, constant whispers behind her back, and lost opportunities due to her last name. Inciting incident. Something drastic happens, e.g., an attack on her home, an accusation, or a forced exile, that sets the story in motion. Alina's fight against fate. She tries to prove her innocence, seeking a way to break free from the chains of her past. Encounters with powerful figures. She faces confrontations with those who hold grudges against her family. Betrayal and injustice. Despite her efforts, she is framed for a crime she didn't commit or blamed for a tragedy she had no part in. A crucial turning point. She is either sentenced to exile, imprisonment, or forced into hiding, making her survival the key struggle. Alina's journey toward redemption. She embarks on a mission to uncover the full truth about her parents' past and clear her name. New allies and dangers. She meets those who either help her or use her for their own gain. The shocking revelation. She discovers a hidden secret about her parents' past that changes everything. Perhaps they were framed, or their crimes were part of a larger conspiracy. A test of strength. Alina must make a decision. Accept her fate or fight against the forces that wish to keep her shackled to her family's past. The climax. Alina faces off against the true villains, whether they are corrupt leaders, vengeful enemies, or even those she once trusted. The truth is revealed. Society is forced to confront the reality of her parents' sins and their own role in punishing the innocent. Justice or sacrifice. Alina either achieves victory and clears her name, or she must make a painful sacrifice for the greater good. The resolution. She finally finds peace, either by starting a new life, reclaiming her family's honor, or walking away from the past entirely. Village Market. Day. A bustling market in a small, tight-knit village. Vendors call out prices. Children weave through the crowds. The scent of freshly baked bread lingers in the air. Alina, 18, dark hair, sharp eyes, but weary expression, moves cautiously through the crowd. She clutches a small basket, trying to ignore the whispers that follow her. Villager 1, low voice, to another villager. That's her. The daughter of them. Villager 2, shaking head. She should have left long ago. The sins of the parents always find the child. Alina tightens her grip on the basket, her jaw clenching. She forces herself forward, ignoring the stares. At a fruit stand, she picks up an apple. The old woman behind the stand sees her and snatches it back. Old woman, stern. Go away. I don't sell to your kind. Alina's throat tightens. She glances at her empty basket, then at the people around her, watching, judging. Alina, soft. Please. I have money. The old woman slaps Alina's coins away. They scatter onto the ground. Old woman, spitting. Money means nothing when it comes from filth. Laughter erupts from a few nearby villagers. Alina's face burns with shame. She bends down to pick up the coins. A muddy boot stomps over her hand. Villager 3, mocking. Maybe if you beg, someone will feed you like a stray dog. Alina yanks her hand away, glaring up. Her heart pounds. A shout pierces the air. Man, os, thief. Someone stop her! Alina's head whips around. A young girl runs through the market, clutching a stolen loaf of bread. The villagers chase after her. Alina sees the girl stumble and fall. The girl looks up, terrified. A guard grabs her by the arm, yanking her to her feet. Guard, angry. You think you can steal and get away with it? The girl shakes her head rapidly. Young girl, pleading. Please. My mother is sick. We have nothing to eat. The villagers mutter. Some shake their heads. Others look away. Villager 1, cold. The law is the law. Alina watches, fists clenched. The guard raises his hand, ready to strike the girl. Alina steps forward. Alina, firm. Stop. The crowd goes silent. The guard slowly turns to her. Guard, mocking. Ah, the daughter of criminals has something to say? Laughter ripples through the villagers. Alina doesn't flinch. Alina. She's just a child. Let her go. Guard, scoffs. And what? Let her become a thief like her parents? You of all people should know how that ends. Alina's stomach twists. The guard eyes her carefully. Then, his lips curl into a cruel smirk. Guard, mocking. Unless you want to take her punishment instead? The crowd erupts in murmurs. Alina goes still. The young girl looks at her, pleading silently. Alina inhales deeply. Alina, steady. Fine. The crowd gasps. The guard grins. He yanks the young girl aside and gestures to Alina. Guard. Kneel. Alina hesitates, then slowly drops to her knees. The guard raises his whip. The crowd watches, unblinking. Crack. The first lash strikes her back. Alina sucks in a breath. The pain burns, but she doesn't scream. Crack. Another strike. A few villagers turn away, uncomfortable. But no one stops it. Alina shuts her eyes. She isn't being punished for the girl's crime. She's being punished for existing. For her parents' sins. Fade to black. Village square. Night. The village square is eerily silent. A cold wind sweeps through the empty streets, rustling the market stalls. Alina sits against a crumbling stone wall, her back aching from the day's punishment. Her dress is torn where the whip had struck, dried blood staining the fabric. A pair of small hands reach out, offering a piece of bread. Young girl, soft. You shouldn't have done that for me. Alina hesitates before taking the bread. She stares at it for a long moment before taking a small bite. It's stale, but she doesn't care. Alina, quiet. I did it because no one else would. The girl shifts uncomfortably. Young girl. They won't ever stop, will they? Alina exhales slowly. Alina. No. They won't. A distant bell tolls. The girl flinches and glances around. Young girl. I should go before they see me with you. She hesitates before murmuring. Young girl. Thank you. Then, she runs off into the shadows. Alina watches her disappear. She pulls her knees to her chest, staring up at the dark sky. Her whole life has been spent like this, alone. Hated. Unwanted. And no matter how much she tried to prove she wasn't like her parents, no one cared. Footsteps. She tenses. A shadow looms over her. Village elder, OS. You should have left when you had the chance. Alina looks up. The village elder stands before her. A man with deep lines on his face, cold eyes that hold no sympathy. Alina, quiet. I've done nothing wrong. The elder's gaze hardens. Village elder. And yet, trouble follows you like a curse. Alina says nothing. The elder takes a slow step closer. Village elder. There are people who want you gone, Alina. People who would rather see you disappear than risk the sins of your parents resurfacing. Alina's fingers curl into fists. Alina. I am not my parents. The elder studies her for a long moment. Then, he leans in and whispers coldly. Village elder. That does not matter. He straightens, voice turning sharp. Village elder. Tomorrow, the council will decide your fate. Leave, or face the consequences. Alina's heart pounds. She knows what that means. Exile. or worse. The elder turns and walks away, disappearing into the darkness. Alina sits frozen. The weight of his words settles over her like a noose tightening around her throat. Then, a new sound. A rustling nearby. She whips her head around. A figure moves in the shadows. Alina, tense. Who's there? Silence. Then, man, ois. If you want to live, come with me. Alina tenses. From the shadows steps a man in a hooded cloak. His face is partially hidden, but his voice is firm. Certain. Dangerous. Alina, suspicious. Who are you? The man doesn't answer. Instead, he tilts his head slightly. Man. You don't have much time. By morning, they'll come for you. Alina's throat tightens. She glances toward the elder's house in the distance, light flickering through the windows. Her options are clear. Run. Or die a prisoner of a past she never chose. She stands slowly. Alina, quiet. Where are we going? The man smiles slightly. Man. Somewhere they can't reach you. Alina hesitates only for a moment. Then, she follows him into the darkness. Dense forest, night. The moonlight barely pierces through the thick canopy. Owls hoot in the distance. The air is damp, filled with the scent of earth and moss. Alina's breath is ragged. She stumbles over roots and rocks, struggling to keep up with the mysterious man leading her through the shadows. Alina, panting. Where are we going? The man keeps walking, his cloak billowing behind him. Man, calm. Somewhere safe. Alina, frustrated. You keep saying that, but I don't even know who you are. He finally stops. Slowly, he turns to face her, pulling back his hood. His face is sharp, worn by time, with piercing gray eyes. A scar cuts across his jaw. Man. My name is Elias. I knew your parents. Alina's stomach twists. Alina, whispering. That's not possible. Elias. You don't know the whole story. Alina steps back. Alina. I don't want to hear it. My parents ruined my life. They destroyed everything. Elias watches her carefully. Elias. That's what they want you to believe. Alina's brows furrow. Alina. What are you talking about? Elias takes a slow step forward. Elias. Your parents didn't betray the village. They were betrayed. Alina's heart pounds. Alina. No. That's not true. Elias' jaw tightens. Elias. They were framed, Alina. By the same people who now want you gone. Alina stares at him. Her mind races. She spent her entire life being told her parents were monsters. Criminals. Traitors. Could it all have been a lie? She shakes her head. Alina, firm. You're lying. Elias exhales. Elias. Come with me. Let me show you the truth. Alina hesitates, her body torn between fear and curiosity. Finally, she nods. Elias turns and walks ahead. Alina follows. Ext, abandoned cave, night. The cave entrance is hidden behind thick vines. Elias pulls them aside, revealing a narrow opening. He motions for Alina to follow. Int. Cave. Secret hideout. Inside, torches flicker along the damp stone walls. A wooden table sits in the center, covered in maps, letters, and old documents. Alina steps forward, scanning the papers. Her eyes land on a sealed letter with her mother's name on it. Her fingers tremble as she picks it up. Elias. Your mother wrote that the night before she was taken. Alina's throat tightens. She slowly opens the letter. Her mother's handwriting is shaky, desperate. My dearest Alina, if you are reading this, then the truth has found you at last. We were never the traitors they claimed we were. We were trying to protect the village from those who sought power at any cost. But they silenced us before we could stop them. I am sorry, my love, for the life they forced upon you, for the weight of sins that were never ours to bear. You must survive. And when the time comes, you must decide, run from the past, or fight to reclaim the truth. Whatever you choose, know this, we never stopped loving you. Be brave. Mother. Tears blur Alina's vision. The paper shakes in her hands. Her entire life, the shame, the suffering, the punishment, it was all built on a lie. She slowly looks up at Elias. Alina, quiet, shaken. Why are you showing me this? Elias watches her, his expression unreadable. Elias. Because the ones who framed your parents are still in power. Alina's stomach turns. Alina. The village council. Elias nods. Elias. They feared your parents would expose them. So they silenced them. And now, they fear you. Alina's hands clench into fists. They had stolen her family's honor. Destroyed their name. And for what? Power. Control. Fear. Elias watches as a storm brews in her eyes. Elias. You have a choice, Alina. Run. Or fight. Alina slowly exhales. For years, she had tried to escape the past. But maybe it was time to face it. Village square. Night. The village is silent. Torches flicker, casting long shadows over the cobblestone streets. The air is thick with tension. Alina stands hidden in the darkness, her pulse steady but her mind racing. Beside her, Elias tightens the grip on his dagger. Elias, whispering. They'll be inside the council hall. If we do this right, the truth will be heard before they can silence you. Alina nods, determination hardening her expression. She spent her whole life running, suffering, being punished for crimes that were never hers. Tonight, it ends. EXT Council Hall, night. 2 guards stand at the entrance, spears crossed. Alina and Elias move swiftly. Before the guards can react, Elias strikes first. His dagger flashes, slamming into one guard's shoulder, sending him crumbling. Alina follows instinctively. She grabs a wooden staff lying nearby and swings it into the second guard's ribs, sending him crashing to the ground. Elias retrieves the keys from the fallen guard's belt and pushes the heavy wooden doors open. Int. Council Hall, night. The council members sit inside, 5 men, including the village elder. They look up, shocked, as Alina and Elias stride in. Village elder, cold. You should not be here. Alina steps forward, voice unwavering. Alina, you've spent years lying to this village, framing my parents, punishing me for sins that were never theirs. The elder's eyes darken. Village elder. Careful, girl. You speak of things you do not understand. Alina slams her mother's letter onto the table. Alina, I understand plenty now. I know my parents tried to stop you. I know they were silenced before they could expose the truth. The other council members exchange uneasy glances. Villager 1, hesitant. What is she talking about? The elder glares at him before turning back to Alina. Village elder. Your parents were traitors. Just as you are. Alina's anger simmers, but she keeps her voice steady. Alina. Then why did you kill them in secret? Why erase their names, burn their records? Why let an entire village condemn a child for something she never did? The council members shift, discomfort growing. Elias leans forward, voice low but sharp. Elias. Because the real traitors were sitting in this very hall. A murmur spreads. The door behind them creaks open. Villagers begin to gather outside, drawn by the commotion. Alina sees their faces, some confused, some wary, some realizing the truth. Villager 2, uncertain. Is this true? The elder rises sharply, slamming his fist onto the table. Village elder. Enough of this nonsense. Guards. Arrest them. Nothing happens. The villagers look at the fallen guards outside. The power is shifting. Alina steps forward, her voice strong. Alina. No more lies. No more fear. You wanted to erase my family, but I am still here. And I will not be silent. The tension in the room thickens. Finally, one of the council members stands. His voice wavers. Villager 3. We were told they were guilty. But what if we were wrong? The elder's face darkens. He reaches for his belt, pulling out a hidden dagger. He lunges, straight for Alina. Elias moves first. The 2 men collide. The dagger slashes across Elias' arm, but he twists, knocking the weapon away. Alina doesn't hesitate. She grabs the wooden staff from earlier and swings hard, striking the elder across the chest. He stumbles. Villagers rush forward, holding him back. For the first time, fear flashes in the elder's eyes. The power he once had, it's gone. Villager 4, firm. Take him. The villagers drag the elder away. Alina stares after him, breathing heavily. 4 years, she had been the outcast, the punished, the broken. Tonight, she had taken back her truth. Elias, softly. It's over. Alina slowly exhales. For the first time in her life, she is free.